Hey there, CJ Math students, and welcome to Homework 1.5, Factors and Comparing Rational Numbers. No calculators, and this is a practice homework. So we're answering the riddle, what do you call it when a bunch of kids throw crayons and poster paint at you? So it says, for each exercise, find the two factors that are missing, write them in the blanks, cross out the box containing your answer. When you finish, the letters from the remaining boxes get filled in for the answer for the riddle. So the factors of 8. How I'm going to do this is, number one, I'm going to have my handy dandy reference sheet right next to me. And when I see 1, I'm going to say, okay, what number times 1 is 8? I'm going to obviously say 8. And what number times 4 is 8? I'm going to say 2. And then so I'm going to go down here. I'm going to find 2 and 8, or 8 and 2. It really doesn't matter the order. And it's right here. And so I'm going to cross that off. Right? So the letters left over will be my answer. Let's do number 8. What are the factors of 21? So 1 and obviously 21, and then 3 and 7. So let's go down here, find 3 and 7. 7 and 21, my fault. So cross those off. All right. So I've done 2 for you now. I'll do maybe a couple more. Let's go down to number 6. That's kind of a difficult one. The factors of 66. 1 and, they already have 66. 2 and, what number times 2 will give you 66? The answer to that is 33, right? 33 times 2 gives you 66. So we know we're good. 3 times what gives you 66? 3 times 22 gives you 66. All right, so that's already checked off. 6 times what gives you 66? 6 times 11. So you need 33 and 11, or as it says, 11 and 33. And you cross those off. So you see, you want to match each factor with another factor that will get you to the number that it states. So let's do the factors of 96. So 1 matches up with 96. 2 matches up with 48. 2 times 48 is 96. 3 matches up with not 24, because if you do 3 times 24, you'll get 12, carry the 1. You only get 72. So it's got to be 3. So if you look down your multiplication chart, you can go ahead and find that factor, or you can even do 3 divided into 96. That goes in there 3 times. Nothing left over. Goes in there 6. It tells you your answer, 32. So 32. So 3 matches up with 32. 4 matches up with 24. 6 matches up with 12. No, 6 matches up with 16, excuse me. And then 12. What number times 12 gives you 96? You can use your multiplication chart, and it's 8. So 32 and 8, or 8 and 32 is what you're looking for. So it's the IM right there. So you cross those off. And I will do one more with you because I promised. So let's do 11. Factors of 60. 1 and 60. 2 and 30. Yep. 3 and what times 3 gives you 60? Let's do what times 3 gives you 6? How about that? Well, it's 2, right? So just add a 0. 20. And 4 times 15 gives you 60. It's good to know your 15s. 5 times what gives you 60? Oh, you should know your 5s. That's 12. So you're looking for 20 and 12, or 12 and 20. There it is. All right. The rest you're going to do, and you're going to show work like when you need to, just like I did. So sorry, that was a multiplication symbol. All right. Let's go to the back. And on the back, it's ordering these fractions. So how do you turn a banana into a vegetable? So you're going to chop up this number line by the denominator. Remember, the denominator tells us what our whole is divided into. So why don't right off the bat you go ahead and say, okay, it said halves. So we're going to chop up the number line into halves. There's 1/2, right there. There's 1 and 1/2. So 1 and 1/2 right there. There's 2 1/2 right there. All right. So let's place 3 over 2. So we want 1/2, 2/2, right? This is really 2 over 2. So that would make that 3 over 2. So 3 over 2 goes right here. You put an R right there, and 3 over 2 underneath. All right. The riddle is going to be spelled out on the lines, right? So we're done with R. 5 over 2. So we got 1 over 2. 2 over 2, 3 over 2, that makes 2, 4 over 2, and that makes this 5 over 2. So that's W. 2 over 2, we already have labeled right there, is H. Sorry, we're done with that, 4 over 2 we already have labeled is O, and 1/2 we also already have labeled is T. So throw, something is throw, right? So the biggest thing is seeing the denominator, so this is thirds, and dividing up into thirds. So here we go is 1/3, 2/3, and then remembering that the whole right there would be 3/3, and the next time you do it would be 4/3, 5/3. Oh, this would be 6/3, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? 7/3, 8/3, and then 3 would be obviously 9/3, right? 9 divided by 3 is thirds, right? You're going to want to do the same thing with the fourths and the fifths, right? And I will do the fifths with you, all right? So 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. 1 would be obviously 5/5, 6/5, 7/5, 8/5, 9/5. 2 would be obviously 10/5, 11/5, 12/5, 13/5, 14/5, and 3 would be obviously 15 over 5, right? So let's label these 8/5. 8/5 is right here. It's just past 1, right before 2. 8/5 is an S right there. 3/5, it's right here in between 0 and 1. 3/5, so that's O. 11/5, we follow this up. 11/5 is right there. That's A, right, greater than 2. 5/5 we know is 1 whole, right? So that's N right there. And 2 and 3/5. Now, interesting, they gave you a mixed number there, right? But all we have are improper fractions. Well, what you can do is you can find the whole number 2, and then you can count 3/5. So here's 2, and there's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, right? Another way you can do this is say, hey, I know 2 and 3/5 as an improper fraction. 2 times 5 is 10. That's 13 over 5. These two things are equivalent. The mixed number and improper fraction are equivalent. You might want to change 1 and 4/5 right off the bat here also to an improper fraction. That's 9/5, right? So in fact, wherever you see a mixed number, it might be helpful to go ahead and change it to an improper fraction to help you do that, right? 1 and 1/4, obviously 1 times 4 plus 4 gives you 5 over 4. 0 over 4 is just going to be 0, right? So just FYI. All right, that's all I'm going to do for you. You're responsible for the rest. Call me if you have questions.